Good morning. Welcome to Freedom Monday on Zelisas. Today is Monday, the 18th of December, 2023, and we are happy to have you here. I have a special guest this morning. He is Mr. Ganga Singh. He is the Trade and Investment Representative for Guyana for all of CARICOM, and he's based here in Trinidad and Tobago. And as you know, there is a big controversy and tension between Venezuela and Guyana over the border and over land that is now owned and part of the Republic of Guyana. And recently there was a meeting in St. Vincent at which a number of people were present, and they had a discussion on certain agreements were reached. So we're going to talk to Mr. Singh about that today. But this is Freedom Monday on the 18th of December 2023. We welcome you. Thanks for listening. And now we go to the quote of the day with the kind compliments of the Mid-Center Mall Flea Market. And I'll read the quote as it comes up on the screen. Between yesterday's mistakes and tomorrow's hope, there is a fantastic opportunity called today. Very, very, very nice quote, very optimistic. Between yesterday's mistakes and tomorrow's hope, there is a fantastic opportunity called today. So take advantage of today. And we thank Mid-Center Mall Flea Market for that quote. And this program, of course, you see the ad there. And this program is coming to you with the compliment of Docks Engineering Works Limited, Charon's Bookstore, and Lifetime Solutions. So we thank you for joining us. We thank you for being with us. And let's welcome Mr. Ganga Singh, who is well known to you, but we're going to be talking to him on something very specific here. Good morning, Ganga. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Tiwari. Good morning, Bo. Good morning to your viewers and listeners.
Yes. We are beamed to Canada as well, so you have a Canadian audience as well as Synergy TV. And of course, we live on Facebook and streaming.
Well, so welcome to all your viewers and a happy Yuletide season. Your quote reminded me, and you had brought him to Trinidad, Deepak Chopra.
Yes, yes.
And when he said, the past is history, the future is a mystery. This moment is a gift. That is why it is called the present.
I didn't remember that, but I'm glad that you reminded me of it. But you're right, today is always the immediate time in which one must act. Right. So we're going to discuss a serious issue here, but before we do, I mean, you are partly resident in Guyana, you're here, and you represent that country. Tell me how oil and the finding of oil has made life a little bit different in Guyana before we get into this main issue.
I think Guyana always had a diversified economy. Agriculture, rice, fishery, mining, forestry, aquaculture. You have always had a diversified economy in that sense, but you never had a sufficient revenue stream to allow for significant infrastructure development. And when you contemplate the size of Guyana, it is 83,000 square miles,
yes,
the size of the United Kingdom.
Yes, that's right.
And the river expanses are large. I mean, the Essequibo is 21 miles in width. So when you contemplate all of that and the infrastructure required to run a country of that nature, you find that the oil money is now providing the government with the revenue base for significant infrastructure involvement in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of road and bridges. That is significant developmental revenue stream that is being utilized. The oil revenue stream is being utilized in that area. But simultaneous with that, you have major foreign direct investment, not only in the oil and gas sector, oil sector alone, but also in the hospitality industry. There are some 8 brand name hotels being built, constructed in Guyana. The Sheraton, the Marriott Courtyard, the Marriott Hyatt. You have Best Western. In fact, you have Trinidadians who are investing in Guyana. The Southern Sales Group, they are doing a Hyatt Place close in the Providence area. You have amalgamated through one of his company incarnations, John Abood. He's doing a Marriott AC in the area close to the Ogle Airport. And then you have Jerry Nares also doing a hotel. So that therefore you have Trinidadian investment going there. You have Trinidadian contractors going there. So simultaneous with the infrastructure development being utilized through the revenue stream, you also have foreign direct investment. So it's a good mix that is taking place.
Yeah, what you're saying there is very interesting. Some of the communities in Guyana were because of the lack of infrastructure development, were relatively isolated. I suspect that the infrastructure is helping to bridge those gaps now between, let's say, Georgetown, Essequibo, the other areas. More than that, you are having these foreign brand names, investment in the hotel industry, which means that your tourism product is going to be something that is going to be pushed by the government of Guyana. And we are seeing Trinidadian businessmen both investing on their own and making international alliances to make investment in Guyana. Is that what is taking place in a major way in the country outside of the oil and energy sector?
You're right, Bo. You have development in every region, every one of the 10 regions in Guyana. And what you have major investment, for example, the bridge infrastructure. Okay, a new Demerara bridge is being constructed with a 50-meter height so ships can pass underneath. The Demerara River will be dredged to 10 to 13 meters in order to provide a draft for larger ships to come in. You have across in Wales, in Region 3, the Wales Development Authority, in which you will have the liquefied propane plant, you will have the electricity plant utilizing the gas, natural gas, to create the kind of energy for the sector, which will reduce, and is projected to reduce electricity rates by 50%, which will now create the whole environment for a manufacturing sector to get aggressive.
Yeah.
Similarly, you have the approach of the government is that agriculture is critical to the food security of the whole Caribbean region. So that you have, and therefore the president, who is the shadow minister for agriculture in the quasi cabinet, the minister for agriculture in the CARICOM quasi cabinet, has established a goal. 25% reduction, yes, in the food cost or the food importation by 2025. Yeah, and he's very aggressive in that. Very aggressive in that. And you can point to areas in the Rupununi savannas where they conducted a pilot program of 100 acres of soya and 100 acres of corn as to what would be the appropriate germplasm or the kind of plant for that kind of area. And now they have expanded it, and when they have found that out, expanded it to 5,000 acres so as to be self-sufficient in the feed input for poultry production. Yeah. So that is the kind of innovation that is taking place. And the tourism sector. You have Guyana with its natural beauty and forestry, and you have an incorporation of the indigenous community in the production of that indigenous tourism culture. And then you have a teaming up with Barbados in two areas. One, in the training of people for the hospitality industry, and secondly, in more than two areas really. Secondly, you get sun and sand in Barbados and a link to the ecotourism of Guyana.
Of Guyana, yes.
And then, of course, there's...
And it's a water-rich country, too.
Yeah, well, Guyana means the land of many waters.
Yes, it's
so
a water-rich
therefore, you have
country.
all the ingredients. You have the land, which is vast expanse. You have sunshine, and you have water. These are the three ingredients. Now, and what you have now is the coming into being of the revenue stream to invest in agriculture also.
Yes. Besides the infrastructure that you're doing in Guyana, though, you are also doing infrastructure with your neighbors. I mean, Suriname is right there on your border. Brazil is right there on your border. What are you doing with these two countries in terms of infrastructure?
The collaboration between Brazil has long been going on since the time of President Barra-Jagdeo and Lula in his first term.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yeah.
And they built a bridge.
People don't understand that that is a long relationship.
Long relationship.
Yes.
A bridge was built, and customs infrastructure and immigration infrastructure that exists in the border in Letem and between Brazil and Guyana, right?
Yes.
So that therefore you have that whole province in that area, about 9 million people, right? And Letem provides an opportunity. Something like 15,000 Brazilians come across on a daily basis to shop in Letem.
Okay.
So that that border town is booming, and the infrastructure is going to be developed there. You're going to have the current aviation facility, the airport facility, is going to be expanded, extended terminal, and that is a new area of significant border investment with Brazil. In addition, there's the road from Linden to Susdijk, the continuation of the road to Brazil, so that a road will be built into Brazil.
I'm aware of the road.
And that is ongoing. Currently, it is.
So is that under construction now?
That is currently under construction.
Okay. Yes.
And then in phases.
Yes.
And in addition to that, the Ministry of Public Works has requested people who want to invest in a rail, because when the Berbice port is built, it will allow access. Currently, it takes 72 hours for containerized cargo to reach a port in Brazil from that province. It will take 24 hours. So that therefore, that's a whole new area. Similarly, with Suriname.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Suriname, bilaterally, between the two countries, they are funding a bridge so as to link Guyana with Suriname. So what was British Guyana and what was Dutch Guyana, all of Guyana, will be linked through that bridge, you know? So
yes.
Suriname and Guyana.
And this is government to government
arrangement. So the relations are excellent. In addition to that, they are sharing the experiences that Guyana did in terms of the environment, you know, and its forestry, in which we were able to collect significant carbon credit.
A lot of them, yes. Yes.
So that therefore they're shared, and there's excellent relations between the Santoki government and the Irfanali administration.
And the relationship with Brazil on the infrastructure front with the roads and so on, is that government to government as well?
The initial monies of $150 million was Brazilian money.
Was Brazilian money.
And a Brazilian firm is doing the first phase.
All right, okay.
But in addition to that, you have Saudi Arabian monies coming into Guyana, you have Qatari, UAE money coming into Guyana, Qatari money coming into Guyana. It is really the focal point of this part of the hemisphere in terms of investment.
Well, you are making some important points here. We're going to have to break soon, but I want to talk about that international thing before we get to the Venezuela, Guyana border problem. But you're talking about Saudi Arabia investment, Qatari investment. What are they interested in?
I think
is it the oil or is it other things?
No, it is, well, the oil is part of it, but it is the other things, agriculture. They're interested in the agricultural area, gold, the mining, extractive sector. They're interested in that. And in addition to that, because of the, what would I say, the approach that the Ali administration, Irfan Ali administration has, there's significant grant funding coming to them. So that therefore the foreign relations policy is not their self-interest is served by having this kind of high-level diplomatic relations also.
Yes, so China is also heavily invested in energy in Guyana.
China is...
They own 30% of a company there.
Yeah, the Starbrook is part Chinese.
Yes.
Sinop, China National Oil Company is
there.
A Chinese company is building the Demerara Bridge.
Yes.
Okay, so that therefore you...
Are they involved in any ports in Guyana?
No, they're not at this stage. So that is still, the decision on that is still out there. So, but there's significant Chinese investment in Guyana.
Yeah, and I know the U.S. is there very heavily, of course, with the oil and energy. Are the Russians in Guyana as well?
Well,
and I'm asking as a kind of prelude to the Guyana, Venezuela.
The Russians, their investment was in the bauxite area through Rusal. But I think there has been a bit of hibernation now in that area. Okay,
so they've kind of withdrawn their enthusiasm.
I don't know whether it is withdrawn. It's just the matter of the COVID and the infrastructure and the continuation of that. But Rusal is I would say, in hibernation.
Okay. All right, good. Well, that is a good point at which to stop until our next segment. So let's give the advertisers an opportunity to sell their products.
Located at 24 Eastern Main Road, Quezay, San Juan. Telephone number 675-9024 or 675-3607. 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, 663-1884, 663-1476, or 645-3878. Trin City Mall, Trin City. Contact them at 640-3155.
Calm down.
Check out Charan's Bookstore.
Lifetime Solutions, manufacturer of metal roofing, panels, framing, guttering, and related products. Located lot number 26, Omera Industrial Estate in Arima. Give us a call, 646-5813 for further information. Lifetime Solutions. Give us a call today.
The Mid-Center Mall Christmas Fling Market is now open. Over 400 participants. Toys, gift items, home decor, perfumes, t-shirt printing, jewelry, photo portraits, bells, wallets, and so much more. Daily live entertainment, fascinating snow show every hour from 7 p.m. Take pictures with Santa Claus. Fireworks show on Christmas Eve at 9 p.m. Open until the 31st of December, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
It's your final chance to visit the Fabindia Expo. Definitely closing on Sunday, 17 December. Get up to 80% off. Off-season sale is now on. Everything must go. Get ready-made garments, furniture, footwear, jewelry, and so much more. It's your final chance to visit the Fabindia Expo. Definitely closing on 17 December.
Elegant accents for beautiful and exquisite gold and platinum plated jewelry. Absolutely lovely gift items. There's a grand Christmas sale now on, up to 50% off on all jewelry. Elegant Accents, conveniently located 339 Eastern Main Road, El Dorado, 6 buildings east of Cora Junction on the left. For wholesale inquiries, call 719-3894. That's 719-3894. Super Quality Supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Chagonas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Yes, welcome back. This is Freedom Monday. I am Bo Tiwari, and my special guest today is the representative of Guyana for CARICOM and the Caribbean region, resident in Trinidad and Tobago, former Minister of Government in Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Ganga Singh. And we are talking about Guyana, and we are also moving now to talk about the dispute over land in the Essequibo region, which is part of the Republic, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, now being threatened by Venezuela. So I want to start, Mr. Singh, by asking you, I mean, when that aggression came from President Maduro of Venezuela about the border and the threat of takeover of land and demand for land that is part of Guyana, it must have been a kind of sudden shock for the government and people of Guyana. How did they initially react?
First thing I want to say, Bo, is that President Irfan Ali and his cabinet team proceeded in dealing with that threat. It is a threat of invasion at that time. But they dealt with it through adherence to international law.
Yes. Yeah, they've insisted on that.
They built a diplomatic alliance, a worldwide alliance, to support their commitment to peace and dignity and international rule of law, and that found resonance in the international community. The matter was before the ICJ, the International Court of Justice, and yes, they proceeded in that fashion. So, but the reality is that when you compare what was happening in Venezuela and the bellicosity, the belligerence,
yes,
that came from the Maduro government, and that you did not find that same level or any level of that nature in Guyana. They kept that path of peace, that yes, pathway to international law for the resolution of this matter. But the history of this matter goes through centuries. Since 1841, there has been a dispute in place. Venezuela claimed from the British in 1887, they broke off relations with Great Britain. And to do a quick swath of the history, in 1887, they broke off relations, and then they got America by proxy,
yes,
to become representative of
Venezuela. They actually asked the United States to intervene on their behalf.
And it is important to know that it is when Britain agreed to set up an arbitral commission with the United States to decide on the land boundary dispute. And it's not the land boundary sounds as if it is a few acres, Bo. This is over 61,000 square miles.
Yeah,
it is two-thirds of Guyana, as we know it, right? So
yes,
it is really a territorial dispute or controversy, as the Geneva Agreement put it, but it is really a dispute before the International Court of Justice. So, but you have to understand the quality of the personnel who sat in that arbitral body in 1897.
Yeah.
It was the Chief Justice of the United States, together with another judge of the Supreme Court. The Chief Justice of Britain, together with another judge of the Supreme Court in
the U.S.
In the U.S. and so that both Chief Justices of both countries, together with the head of the judiciary of Russia as chairman. Now that arbitral body determined the boundary dispute, and that is what and it was accepted by Venezuela.
Yes, it was.
It was for 60 years. It was accepted by Venezuela, and that is where the demarcation points are. There was a German surveyor called the Stromberg, and he drew the Stromberg line, and that is the level of demarcation. But Venezuela got the whole Orinoco area, which Britain was claiming at that time too, but they got that, and they accepted that. That was accepted that, and they went ahead and they printed stamps, and their National Assembly accepted the decision. But in 1905, all this demarcation was done. In 1966, when Guyana was becoming independent, okay? So if we backtrack a bit and put a context, Venezuela sought American assistance by under the Monroe Doctrine.
Monroe Doctrine.
Because they could not handle Britain as a superpower.
Yes.
And in terms of its lethal force and so on. But in 1966, when British Guyana was becoming independent, they then raised this issue again. And that is how the Geneva Agreement came about. Okay? So in 1966, also, Venezuela made a military intrusion into an area, an island called Ancoco Island, and set up a military base in 1966. So here you have a fledgling independent Caribbean country, all right, becoming independent, and then they have to face this. So then the Geneva Agreement of 1966 came into being, in which under the UN, they will set up a mixed commission where they will report, and they will be part of a reporting mechanism. Now, in 1970, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago intervened on the request of Sir Sridhar Ramphal.
Yes.
Sridhar Ramphal then. Now,
he was foreign minister.
He was foreign minister, the
at the
foreign
time.
secretary
Yes.
of foreign minister of Guyana.
That's correct.
And what came about was a moratorium for
Yes.
over a 12-year period. So Trinidad and Tobago played a role.
They played a role through Eric Williams. That is correct.
Williams, and because Eric Williams had the moral authority,
yes,
and the Caribbean leadership, and also a relationship with Venezuela that would allow him to utilize that moral authority.
That's right, because
at
that time, was it Perez at that time in 1970?
Yeah, Perez Jimenez, I think.
Yes. And but he had relations with all of these people, and as you say, Williams had the moral authority and the international stature also, and the regional stature. And Eric Williams was always suspicious of Venezuelan, I suppose you could call it imperial designs or interests in the region. We'll get back to that for a minute, but we've got to go for a break. Ganga, I want to say that giving that little piece of history is very important, and I want to go back to it when we come back, but we're going to take a break now, and we'll be right back.
Are you ready to own your own home? But worried about time, money, and construction? We handle it all. With Docs, you can sleep in your dream. Make a down payment of $100K or $150K and we'll build a 2 or 3 bedroom home on your unused land. A home is an investment into your future, so let's help you invest wise, invest well. Payment plans available. We're only a call away.
Charan's Bookstore for all your school books, stationery items, uniforms, shoes, board games, toys, and much more. Visit them at any of their 3 branches located at 24 Eastern Main Road, Quezay, San Juan. Telephone number 675-9024 or 675-3607. 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, 663-1884, 663-1476, or 645-3878. Trin City Mall, Trin City. Contact them at 640-3155.
Calm down.
Check out Charan's Bookstore.
Lifetime Solutions, manufacturer of metal roofing, panels, framing, guttering, and related products. Located lot number 26, Omera Industrial Estate in Arima. Give us a call, 646-5813 for further information. Lifetime Solutions. Give us a call today.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Get ready for comfort like never before. DAD Comfort Cooling Limited has been your choice. HVAC expert for over 35 years, and we perfected the art of making your space into the oasis you deserve. When the sun is blazing and you need the perfect escape, think Comfort Cooling Limited. Your journey to comfort is one phone call away. So don't hesitate to call us at 652-6378, 657-1451 or come down to our showroom and feel the difference. Conveniently located 24 Forest Avenue, Coquia Village, San Fernando. Email comfortcoolinglimited@gmail.com. We carry York and Coolstar, mini splits, inverted type units, cassette type, window, commercial systems, and 5 years warranty on systems. It's all happening at Comfort Cooling Limited.
It's the most wonderful time of the
Tile Expression Limited, the #1 leader in tiles. Large stock, unbeatable prices, wide variety of porcelain tiles, ceramic tiles, wall and floor tiles, residential and commercial, granite and quartz countertops. Best quality from Spain, Italy, Brazil, India and China. Tile Expression Limited, conveniently located Monroe Road, Kunapir. Telephone 693-0015 or 223-TILE.
Welcome back. This is Freedom Monday coming to you with the courtesy of Docks Engineering Works Limited, Charan's Bookstore, and Lifetime Solutions. We thank you for staying with us and for viewing on Synergy and the other stations across the globe. And we thank you for being part of this very important conversation. Mr. Singh, in your last exposition before we went for the break was very, very important, because this 1899 agreement, which is being adjudicated now by the International Court, was really done, first of all, at the request of the Republic of Venezuela, which was then independent at the time, of the United States within the framework of the Monroe Doctrine, because Britain at that time, even at that time, was an imperial power outside of the hemisphere. Venezuela appealed to the United States. The United States sort of took Venezuela's cause to Britain and tried to find an agreement. They then expanded that internationally to include the Russians, who in fact chaired the legal proceedings, which involved two chief justices, one from Britain, one from the United States of the Supreme Court. And they then made an agreement which was settled in 1899. In 1966, Venezuela, as an already independent country since the 19th century, chose the occasion of the independence of Guyana as a British territory late in the 20th century, in the mid-20th century, chose that opportunity to stake a claim beyond the 1899 claim. And that ended up in the Geneva Agreement, which basically called for, as I understand it, continuing talks on this matter. Now, it seems to me that in the course of history, Venezuela has sought to have two different bites of the cherry. One, to hold Britain in check to get the 1899 agreement with the power of the United States, and the United States and Britain drew Russia in. And the second bite of the cherry was taken when Britain withdrew and was no longer the colonial master of Guyana. Guyana is now moving to independence. It then chose that opportunity to stake a claim on Guyana's territory. Am I correct in making that interpretation? And is that the Guyanese assessment of what is taking place at this point in time?
I think that your analysis is appropriate and relevant. I think that when you look at the span of the history, you recognize that it is a question of power and how do you utilize power to get what you want.
Yes.
All right? So in facing Britain, they did not have the power in any kind of...
So they called the United States to the rescue.
And the evocation of the Monroe Doctrine, they weren't getting traction in the States, you know, until they hired a lobbyist.
Yes.
So that therefore, and then when they got traction, I think it was President Cleveland, that they created this thing. But in any event, the Americans took an approach, okay, we set up the arbitral body and we will settle this matter. And that is why it was settled. And Venezuela agreed with it until
settled according to law and fully agreed to be complied with by all parties, including Venezuela.
Agreed. So that remained in there for over 60 years. It's only in 1966, as you indicated, that they now come and to try to create the environment. And what is the basis? A very spurious basis that they had for their claim that the arbitral body was null and void because the secretary to the arbitral body, a Venezuelan, indicated that the Russian judge was compromised by the British with no evidence whatsoever.
Yes.
You know, so that therefore it is just really imperial expansionism on the part of Venezuela.
Yeah.
It is really a major grab for territory. And what is so that is 1966. There was abeyance until 1972, and then it was opened back up and it went before the UN. The offices of the United Nations Secretary General will provide the necessary special representative to continue the dialogue. Norman Gervan was one.
Yes.
Then you have a Swedish guy who was the other. I don't want to mispronounce his name. And they continued. And Ban Ki-moon indicated that if this matter...
Former Secretary General.
Former Secretary General indicated when he was Secretary General that if this matter is not resolved, then he would suggest to his successor, who is Antonio Guterres, for the matter to be sent to the International Court. So Venezuela participated in this dialogue throughout the 1970s until 2017.
Right.
On 2018, the UN Secretary General Guterres made the decision to send the matter before the ICJ.
Yeah. So now we have the matter coming up again because Maduro has a problem in Venezuela, a political problem, an electoral problem, because the opposition is showing itself to be very, very strong. And the question of who will govern Venezuela if you had a free and fair elections is coming up. And bringing this border dispute into the situation of Venezuelan politics really is a unifying campaign for Maduro. So he has tried to leverage that. I don't think anyone would say that I'm being prejudiced about it. That is the reality. He has seen an opportunity to rally people around a nationalist cause with this border dispute to strengthen himself politically in Venezuela, and he has used that. But thankfully, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent intervened using his office, and he was able to get both Maduro and Ali, President of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, and President of Guyana, Irfan Ali, to sit down and talk with other CARICOM representatives. I think Colombia was represented, I think Brazil was represented, the Secretary General of the UN was represented, etc. And in these talks, they came up with the Argyle Agreement. The Argyle Agreement recognizes the broad difference in perspective between Guyana and Venezuela. So in one of the clauses, they mentioned the 1966 Geneva Agreement, and they mentioned as well the International Court Agreement of 1899. But they created the condition, one, no shooting, no fight, no peace, peace, and then they created a commission. I suppose that was Maduro's proposal to have a commission that continued to talk, and they have 3 months to report and meet and report in Brazil with an international group of the same kind that met in St. Vincent. And I suspect the President of Brazil will play a larger role there because he will be the host of the event. How do you see, first of all, what happened in St. Vincent? Do you view that as being positive? Secondly, how do you view the road between now and 90 days from now, when they will meet approximately in that time in Brazil? And thirdly, how do you see this resolving itself?
Okay, before I get to your specific questions, Bo, I think that you must appreciate the international alliance that Guyana built to support their diplomatic effort and assertion before the International Court of Justice.
Yes.
So you had America, you had Great Britain, you had the Secretary of State Blinken, you had the OAS, you had CARICOM, you had CELAC. All the regional institutions supported Guyana in these efforts. The Venezuela was left isolated as a pariah in that diplomatic sense.
Okay.
However, there is a theory in international relations, and President Maduro took that approach. It is called the madman theory of international relations. So he started to expand his rhetoric with respect to military use, the gathering of troops in the border.
All right.
And you have, so that therefore he was laying that as a kind of basis to attempt to influence the dialogue that he wanted to have.
All right, let's stop at that moment because I've got to go for a break. But when we come back, we're going to have to conclude the discussion. So think carefully about what are the messages that you want to leave before we close this session. Okay, we take a break now. This is Freedom Monday. I am Botiwari. My guest is Mr. Ganga Singh, representative of the government of Guyana for trade and investment in the CARICOM and Caribbean region. Thank you very much for listening and watching. I am sure you find this discussion absolutely fascinating.
Are you ready to own your own home? But worried about time, money, and construction? We handle it all. With Docs, you can sleep in your dream. Make a down payment of $100K or $150K and we'll build a 2 or 3 bedroom home on your unused land. A home is an investment into your future, so let's help you invest wise, invest well. Payment plans available. We're only a call away.
Charan's Bookstore for all your school books, stationery items, uniforms, shoes, board games, toys, and much more. Visit them at any of their 3 branches located at 24 Eastern Main Road, Quezay, San Juan. Telephone number 675-9024 or 675-3607. 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, 663-1884, 663-1476, or 645-3878. Trin City Mall, Trin City. Contact them at 640-3155.
Calm down.
Check out Charan's Bookstore.
Lifetime Solutions, manufacturer of metal roofing, panels, framing, guttering, and related products. Located lot number 26, Omera Industrial Estate in Arima. Give us a call, 646-5813 for further information. Lifetime Solutions. Give us a call today.
Get ready for comfort like never before. DAD Comfort Cooling Limited has been your choice. HVAC expert for over 35 years, and we've perfected the art of making your space into the oasis you deserve. When the sun is blazing and you need the perfect escape, think Comfort Cooling Limited. Your journey to comfort is one phone call away. So don't hesitate to call us at 652-6378, 657-1451, or come down to our showroom and feel the difference. Conveniently located 24 Forest Avenue, Coquia Village, San Fernando. Email comfortcoolinglimited@gmail.com. We carry York and Coolstar, mini splits, inverted type units, cassette type, window, commercial systems, and 5 years warranty on systems. It's all happening at Comfort Cooling Limited.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Elegant accents for beautiful and exquisite gold and platinum plated jewelry. Absolutely lovely gift items. There's a grand Christmas sale now on, up to 50% off on all jewelry. elegant accents. Conveniently located 339 Eastern Main Road, El Dorado, 6 buildings east of Cora Junction on the left. For wholesale inquiries, call 719-3894. That's 719-3894.
The Mid-Center Mall Christmas Fling Market is now open. Over 400 participants. Toys, gift items, home decor, perfumes, t-shirt printing, jewelry, photo portraits, bells, wallets, and so much more. Daily live entertainment, fascinating snow show every hour from 7 p.m. Take pictures with Santa Claus. Fireworks show on Christmas Eve at 9 p.m. Open until the 31st of December, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
It's your final chance to visit the Fab India Expo. Definitely closing on Sunday 17 December. Get up to 80% off. Off-season sale is now on. Everything must go. Get ready-made garments, furniture, footwear, jewelry, and so much more. It's your final chance to visit the Fab India Expo. Definitely closing on 17 December.
Bridgestone Auto Electrical Company Limited. We specialize in all your car and electrical needs. Visit us today at 425 Papuri Road, Ragu Village, San Fernando, or call 657-4175 or 657-5286. Bridgestone Auto Electrical Company Limited. Check them out today.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Hoover Car Park, Hoover, 98 Endeavour Road, Chagonas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome back. This is Freedom Monday on Synergy TV, and I am Bo Tiwari, your host. And we are coming to you through the kind courtesy of Docs Engineering Works Limited, Charon's Bookstore, and Lifetime Solutions. And we are talking about Venezuela and Guyana, and we are talking with the Trade and Investment Representative for the Government of Guyana in the Caribbean and CARICOM. He resident here in Trinidad and Tobago. We were talking just now about where we had reached with the Argyle Agreement and what is likely to happen, let's say, over the next 3 months.
I think that when you look at the irrationality and unpredictability of Maduro in his utterances, and when you looked at the response of Guyana with respect to the alignment of forces with them,
diplomatic connections,
diplomatic and military, then there was little room for Maduro to maneuver, except he had to acknowledge that dialogue was necessary.
Yes.
Whilst he always insisted on bilateral negotiations, he had, I think, Orrin Gordon write about the fact that you have somebody holding you on a chokehold, the younger brother or your elder brother holding you in a chokehold and telling you, well, let everything be all right, whilst you have the chokehold. But Guyana was able to dispense with that. And through the initiative of Raul Gonzalez, President Lula of Venezuela, Brazil, and CARICOM, the CELAC, you had the United Nations, you had a real, the opportunity to sit down and have this face-to-face meeting.
You had an international investment in the resolution of this crisis.
Agreed. And so in that sense, the Argyle Agreement, whatever the enunciations of President Maduro with respect to the Essequibo, it brought about it de-escalated the tension.
Yes, I think that was important.
It brought about peace rather than peace is always preferential to war.
To war, of course.
All right? You have a situation where the adherence to international norms. Both sides kept their position clear. The Guyanese position was that this matter is a matter proper before the ICJ, and in accordance with the international rule of law, that is there properly. The Venezuelans said that okay, they are not interested in the ICJ, but although they gave evidence and information, they are not consenting to anything with respect to the ICJ. So they kept their position too. All right. But the fact of the matter is that this was a success because it de-escalated tensions between the parties, and we can continue the developmental path of Guyana whilst the matter remains in the hands of the ICJ. The setting up of the procedural mechanism and the mechanisms for reporting within a 3-month period, the continued intervention of the interlocutors, Ralph Gonzalez, the office of President Lula of Brazil, the CARICOM in CELAC and CARICOM personnel, that will continue. You have a setting up of a joint commission with a bilateral commission between the foreign ministers of both countries to report in a 3-month period. So there are some things that, if they are adhered to, will redound to the benefit of the whole Caribbean as the established zone of peace, which this agreement also put in place.
Okay, so we have peace. We have a clause in there which says that if something should go wrong, like, I mean, if somebody would play the fool or any mistake happens, there is a mechanism to cool it down and to keep it from escalating. You have joint commission. I mean, to be fair to President Maduro, I know that he was, that was something that he had proposed because he wanted to have continuing talks. Although he escalated things and raised the temperature. And you have all of this now headed now to Brazil over the next 3 months. But ultimately, even if the land dispute is settled by the International Court of Justice in Guyana's favor, and I have no doubt that it will, the tension between the Maduro government and the Guyanese government will continue, especially on the Maduro side, because he needs to have something to show his people. Well, and he, in lieu of land, all that oil in that Essequibo region, Maduro would want some of it. Do you think it's going to get to discussion of that or resolution of that issue?
I don't think that is on the table in the current climate.
Okay.
I think that for Maduro, he reminds me of Louis Philippe, former Speaker of the House first. All politics is local. Tip O'Neill.
Yeah, Tip O'Neill.
Tip O'Neill. But Louis Philippe said, there was a statement that coined his regime. All right? The search for glory abroad and stability at home. Everything is unstable, so that therefore his expansionism is part of his local politics.
Yes.
But that cannot be allowed by the international community to succeed. And that therefore the ruling, the Guyanese government position is that the ruling by the ICJ is what will settle this matter. That is over a century now.
Okay, so from a Guyanese point of view, you stand by the ICJ as the final court of appeal and settlement. Okay, I just want to ask you one quick question and answer it quickly because we've got to go. All of this aggression by Maduro, though, has done something good for Guyana, because Guyana could be a country with a lot of tensions and divisions inside, but this has helped to unite Guyanese behind their national sovereignty effort, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, there's, in fact, from the very inception of this dispute, in the context of Maduro, you have had the communication between the president and the leader of the opposition. Both offices, constant, how can I put it? Constant information sharing and dialogue in that process. So all of Guyana together, and it's encapsulated the song by Trade Winds, not a blade of grass.
Yes.
However, Guyana has to continue in its path. The IMF consultation report says 30% growth in GDP, sustainable for the next 20 years, about 20-something% growth in GDP. So that is where all of Guyana benefits by having peace, by having stability and good neighborliness with Venezuela. And that is captured by the president in his statement after the Argyle Agreement.
All right. I want to thank you very much. It has been a pleasure talking to you. You are full of good information about the tension, the conflict, and an interpretation of the implications of the Argyle Agreement. I want to thank you so much for watching this morning. And we will repeat this conversation with Mr. Ganga Singh, the Trade and Investment Representative for the Government of Guyana in CARICOM and the Caribbean region. We were talking about the fastest growing economy in the world, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and the country in the world with the largest holding of oil reserves in the world, Venezuela, and the tensions and dispute around a land boundary that is now before the International Court of Justice. And the two countries have agreed to talk with joint commissions for the next 3 months and to meet in Brazil to hopefully resolve this situation. Thank you so much for watching. I am Botiwari and this is Freedom Monday. Join me again next Monday on Synergy TV. Merry Christmas to you, and may you have the most glorious, prosperous, and happy New Year in 2024.